Through to the next round and be one step closer to winning the title of Britain's Best Home.
Currently in the lead is this ultra-modern barn in Kent, but that could all change today when we look at our final 3 conversions. A Hertfordshire cricket pavilion hits for 6 as a classy executive home. A church, come spa, come family home. And finally to Provence, well, Gloucestershire actually, to this French-inspired barn currently inhabited by 4 very busy children. Oh, and their parents.
How do we judge the houses? Well, we're looking at 2 criteria. Firstly, the look. How successful is the design, and does it achieve what the owners wanted?
Secondly, good homes have to be lived in. How well do these houses suit the lifestyle of their owners?
The 3 highest scoring homes across the week will go through to the next round and get a chance of winning the title of Britain's Best Home. Right, we're going to start in Gloucestershire, where a distinctive whiff of Provence has replaced the odour of cattle in this once derelict cowshed. Deep in the heart of Gloucestershire, there has been an amazing transformation. Architect Nicholas Arbuthnot and his artist wife Vanessa have turned a series of agricultural barns into a French-style country cottage. Enter through the front door into the hall, which looks out onto a courtyard. To the left, the kitchen, through which you have to travel to reach the family art room. Climb the stairs from the hall and enter a world of passageways from the master bedroom to bathroom, kids' room, finally ending in Vanessa's workshop. The building cost £100,000 to buy. Add the same amount again over a period of about 8 years, and there you have it.
I'm Nicholas Arbuthnot, and I've turned this cowshed into a house.
And I'm Vanessa, and I've turned it into a home.
The idea I had was the house on the north side is very simple and humble, and I wanted this element of surprise. When you come through the front door, you get a completely contrasting, different idea. It's a U shape, and so there's a courtyard inside, and there are 2 arms, and you look down the garden, and I've designed the garden symmetrically, relating very closely to the house.
I hope we've made a welcoming, friendly, fun space to be in. Anything goes. You can get away with wearing wellies inside. You know, it's all right-ish.
Because it's a very narrow building, you can't have a corridor upstairs because there isn't enough room to get past the bedroom. So each staircase goes up to 2 bedrooms on each side, and so it's a house of many staircases. We have 5 staircases in all.
The fun thing also is that you can see right down the whole line of rooms, so it's very sociable, and obviously sometimes the children don't like it. And they often have little locks on their doors and no entrance signs, you know.
Originally, there was no wall on the inside of this building, and we wanted to infill this because we like openings. I didn't want it all glass because walls are incredibly useful for pictures and furniture, and I find views much more interesting and exciting when they're framed. And so I've got these French windows with very low sills, and the nice thing is these are spagnolettes, which are all standard in France, that come with it, which I think are the sort of feeling that we wanted to get in this house.
We haven't been all that brilliant with storage, but we haven't got all that many things, so it's not been too bad. We've made a few shelves, and some of these sort of strange little shapes that have been left. And we've just built some wardrobes along here. So it's pretty unsophisticated, but it suits us. My parents were very artistic and very creative, and so they always had everything out on show, and things were never put away to be tidy. It was more important to be stimulation, to see things and enjoy things. And I suppose we've taken that thing on here, and I expect you're the same with your family.
It is very nice when you come into a house to, without talking to anybody, getting to know what those people are like by the possessions and by the things that are around.
love this house. I love living here, and because we've put so much into making it, I can't imagine really doing it again on this scale, and it would be just lovely to live out our time here and let it grow all around us.
Well, it's great to see so much clutter working.
It is, isn't it? People's stuff for a change. They haven't really tidied up. I think it's great. The most informal, lovely home we've seen so far.
How can you not be charmed by that? It is really part of life.
What I like is the way that the hallway and the stairs are painted this lovely sort of duck egg blue. I mean, he was saying that he wanted something quite simple, and it really is very simple and very subtle and
Where
very
did he find that
pretty,
staircase
isn't it?
from? Isn't it clever?
These windows are fantastic, and again, I love the connection between the inside and the outside.
Well, that's a very rare thing to find in England, to have a low window. Most of them we find, you never get a full feel of the view, but they really do work.
To open those windows and sit on that little window seat and look out to that lovely gardening.
Oh, delightful. The other thing that's particularly brave, I think, about a barn is the fact that on this they've painted the rafters. Now, you very rarely see someone who dares paint the rafters.
Yeah, the English are afraid to paint.
They're scared.
But
They've got
they're
this
always
thing about
painted.
stripping, aren't they?
Yeah, but originally, I mean, pine was regarded as a cheap wood.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
so painted.
And these
it's much
barns-
softer feel, isn't it? Much
Absolutely.
friendlier.
It's not,
very
it's
fresh.
not themed, is it?
Oh,
Many homes.
I'm afraid that's
I
my one
think
worry
it
about
is,
this place.
actually.
It's too themed
I
sometimes.
think it almost moves into twee. I have to say, I'd just like to pick up on the point that you were saying, that this lovely duck egg blue floor and the stairs. I'd agree with you, it's a lovely colour. Is it practical? Is it?
Yes, it's
pale
hard
blue?
I
floored.
think that's the
It works
point.
very
For
well.
once,
A very
it's
practical
something.
lifestyle.
This is
in
something
fact.
that actually gets better the more worn and the scraped and the scratches.
Well, it's
I
a
think
great-
that's
it's a
great.
great
That's
tip,
about living in
actually.
the country, isn't it?
It's a great tip to pick up. It's essentially a sanded floor with a wash over it. So it'll never look worn out, it'll always look worn in.
We'll give our marks for the French-style barn at the end of the show. Daniel?
Our next house is in West Yorkshire, and it's had a bit of a double or triple life. It started out as a squash court and a cricket pavilion before being abandoned for 20 years. It's now been given another innings. Behind this rather uninteresting facade lies a surprising contemporary space. 18 months ago, advertising executives Mark Pearson and Lisa Jones discovered this 200-year-old derelict cricket pavilion. The cricket pitch has long since been replaced by a local park that's an unofficial extension to the garden. Two quite conventional bedrooms and bathrooms can be found downstairs, but at the top of the spiral staircase is a huge open-plan living space flooded with light from a glass roof. With the help of a developer, Lisa and Mark completed the project for £190,000, all in.
I'm Mark Pearson, this is Lisa Jones, and we've created a contemporary open-plan living space that suits our lifestyle.
Both myself and Mark lead busy lives, so it's essential that when we do have time together, that we're able to communicate. The beauty of the living space, it allows us to watch the telly, eat our meals, and still be able to have that interaction. It's quality time when we do spend it because we are able to communicate. Coming from a traditional house, this property was going to allow us the opportunity to live in quite a contemporary, open-plan living space. The shell was there, the floor was in, so all we've had to do essentially is just look at the detail and how we want to live. We decided to reverse the living area to being upstairs because we've got a tremendous amount of light.
As you can imagine, it would be almost like sitting in a greenhouse with the amount of glass we've got on the roof. What we did to combat that, we've actually put a solar shade film on. It maintains the light, which is the sole intention of the place. That's why we wanted to keep it in, but it reduces the heat gain to it.
It's a really functional house. It's dead practical in lots of ways. The underfloor heating's great. The only difficulty that I have is trying to dry clothes.
In the kitchen area itself, it was originally intended that we would put glass walls to segregate it off, but having thought about it, we wanted to maintain the linear space in here.
Storage was a big issue. Quite anal. I like things to be put away. I don't like clutter and I don't like mess. And we've had to work hard to try and find ways to put things away. I think anybody who probably knows us would say that the house really reflected our personality. So we've got a bit of Lisa in there and a little bit of Mark in there as well. I think we are image conscious. I think, I don't necessarily think we're vain, but we like things to look nice. I think people would see that it has a real homely and a relaxing feel to it. There are some things in the house which are personal to us, but you wouldn't necessarily know what they were. The main reason why I love the house is just the feeling when you live in the space. It's kind of surreal, really. You kind of pinch yourself. I think our relationship has improved over the last sort of 3 or 4 months living within the house. The time that we do spend together is spent, you know, in close proximity to each other. The pavilion for us is our home because it has everything we need. It allows us to communicate, it allows us to relax, and it's just right for me and Mark at this time in our lives.
Well, dear. These guys have just bought into your lifestyle. They just want to be identified with those particular design values.
Great building though, isn't it?
It seems like it's one of several flats in a development.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this might take some time. Join us after the break to find out what we're thinking.